Hi everyone, this is B, and in our usual style of African greetings, I say Tonga Soa. That is welcome in Malagasy, language of Madagascar. This is episode 30. Wow! And thanks to everyone that has been listening from the first episode up to the 30th episode. And shout out to my friends and colleagues who have been rooting for me behind the scene. You know, sometimes you're swamped with work, you're busy, you're tired, and you just have people that are telling you, go on, we're rooting for you. So thanks to everyone. Shout out to all my listeners as well. For today's episode, we're going to be looking at the mutual recognition provisions under the Protocol on Trading Services. For you to provide services in another territory that is not your own, you know, each state party has its own licensing or authorization and certification requirements. So we're going to be looking at the sort of mutual recognition arrangement that state parties can have between or amongst themselves. And so that's it for today's episode. For the purposes of the fulfillment of the criteria or standards for the licensing, authorization, and or certification of services supplier within its territory, a state party may recognize the experience, the education, the certification, the licenses obtained from another state party, and this may be based on some sort of arrangement or agreement within that state party and another state party or state parties, or it could be granted autonomously. Example, let's use Ghana and South Africa. So South Africa may decide to recognize the licenses or certification or educational experience in order to certify services suppliers from Ghana to be able to trade within its territory. So that's the first one. The next one, a state party that is part of that arrangement should also give other state parties the opportunity to be able to negotiate to become part of that arrangement or agreement, or otherwise they can negotiate comparable ones. That means, just like the example I used to both South Africa and Ghana, other parties, let's say Kenya, Namibia, Madagascar, Morocco, they give them the opportunity. They can say, okay, we want to enter such arrangement with you, or otherwise let's negotiate comparable ones where services providers can recognize the certification or licensing or education from our own territory in your own territory. That's it. And also, if the recognition is granted autonomously, that means it's not some sort of arrangement or agreement between two state parties. The state party that is granting such autonomous recognition should afford all other state parties the opportunity to be able to show that the licenses, certification, and authorization from their territory should be recognized in the territory of the state party that granted that recognition. Finally, the state party granting that recognition should not accord the recognition in such a way that is discriminatory or that would discriminate between state parties in its application of standards or criteria, or it should not be some sort of disguised restriction on trade and services. So that's it for that. And of course, all this sort of arrangement, the state parties would have to inform the AfCFTA secretariat within 12 months if they enter that sort of arrangement. And also, it is through the secretariat that other state parties will be informed as well. The state party concerned will inform the secretariat about it. And if there are also new recognition and measures, the state party will also inform the secretariat for the benefit of other state parties. And just like I had mentioned when we started there are negotiations ongoing, and there are 5 priority areas. You can listen to that in my previous episode. And so that is it for today's episode. And as usual, the podcast is basically for educational purposes. If you need expert advice, please reach out to me or any other trade consultants that you know around you. And until next week, Thursday, I say bye-bye.